What's in the cards for you this week ahead? Hello, hello. So great to have you. Happy Monday, happy Moon Day. Each day of the week is associated with one of our personal planets, the moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, and the sun. And I am just making sure that I am live in all the places. So as you hop on, say hello, let me know that you found me and that you can hear me. And let me know where you're watching from. We are getting ready for the winter solstice this week. I'm very excited. There's many different traditions and rituals out there to celebrate it. And I want to just share different ways that you can engage with the shortest day of the year and longest night, especially because there is an opportunity for incredible growth if we're willing to make bold moves. Hello, Julie from snowy North Dakota. Great to have you. I keep remembering Friday in our full moon ceremony, we're saying it's balmy 7 degrees. You're a brave soul. Okay, so thank you for hopping on. Thank you for letting me know that you hear me. And okay, fantastic. I'm live in all the places. So let's go ahead and we're going to pull a card for this week ahead. You're going to just tune into your beautiful energy and all of your angels and guides who are with you, and that peace that passes all understanding, divine, pure, limitless love. And I am going to just clear the deck and ask for all those who are watching live with me, all those who catch the replay, what is the most important thing that you need to know about this week ahead? And I see who pops out. All right, so revelation. This card I love because we're no longer in the dark. The lightning is particularly catching my eye, that eureka moment. Lightning, electricity is very Uranian, associated with the planet Uranus, which has to do with a flash of inspiration. Think about those moments, and I think about some of those fun movies. I don't know why Clue is popping into my head. Did you ever see that movie years ago, like based on the board game Clue? And you'd see like these flashes of lightning, and you might see somebody illuminated in the darkness, or you might see something, an object in the room, and then it goes dark and you're in the dark again. Well, this flash of inspiration that comes this week, there is this eureka moment that is inviting you to see, to no longer be in the dark. What happens though when we have our tower moment is that we can't pretend. We can't pretend like everything's rosy, everything's good. This is saying, oh, I can't unsee what I've seen. Now I know, so I need to make a decision. So we might ask, okay, well, what is that decision around? And that decision is around you're moving towards calmer waters. There are calmer seas ahead. And yet at the same time, as you're leaving those troubled waters behind, be careful what you're bringing with you, because here she is in the boat and she's got her bags with her, right? Her luggage. What are you bringing with you to those calmer waters? If the birds, which represents the thoughts, the mindset, even the attitude a little bit, in yoga we'd call it the bhava. If you're bringing that with you, the new place, the new job, the new relationship, the new home, the new health regime, it's not going to be any better than what was, because you haven't shifted internally. So there's an internal shift that can come with this eureka moment. And so what actions might serve you best moving forward? The action that I encourage you to do is to know that you can't, and I'll say it like this, you can't cheat yourself. 11, the Justice card. She knows what she needs to do, and she knows that she can't cut corners to get there quickly, meaning like have the jelly donuts and lose the weight that she might want to lose. She can't necessarily run late and speed to get ahead, because she'll probably get the ticket. You can't cheat on the test, you'll get caught. Justice means that it has to be done in a fair, balanced, just manner. It has to be a divine, energetic exchange. When I was in my early career days, I ended up coding and doing programming work and building websites and yada, yada. And there was always this idea that weekends were limitless time. So if you didn't get the code done during the week, no problem, you have the weekends. It was like, oh, you just had tons of time. And so even coming into the entrepreneurial spirit and being a business owner, owning a brick and mortar yoga studio, and thinking, okay, no problem. Like I just have limitless time in the evenings or the weekends or whatever ended up being kind of that moment I wasn't teaching. But what happened was I ended up trying to stretch time so much that I was cheating myself on the health side, whether it was with sleep or eating properly or even connecting with friends. This card is saying, all of these cards, that the Eureka Aha moment is a revelation that enables you to know where you go, there you are. Something has to shift on the mindset level. Why? Because it's swords, it's our thoughts. And to realize that even though we might change locations, jobs, relationships, health regimes, we can't cheat the system. We have to, and I say this, wow, right? Because it's challenging because that Uranus rebel even influences me. But there are certain rules that we have to follow that we just can't necessarily always defy, like defying gravity. Have you guys seen the new Wicked movie? Haven't seen it yet. Want to see it? That song, Defying Gravity. Even the yogis, they talk about siddhis, Siddhis. Siddhis. These are like the superpowers that you can develop as you cultivate your yoga practice, the practice of levity, of being light. And I'm trying to remember the Sanskrit word for it. All of a sudden, it's just, I haven't said it or thought of it in a long time. It's a lightness of being. And Lagima, it is Lagima. I had Lakshmi in my ear. Why do I want to share that special word with you, Lagima? Because the word itself is built on a language of sound. And so anything from the Sanskrit language, it's built on sound. And so even saying the word evokes an energetic response within you. So lightness of being, we can see that as, oh, I'm going to learn how to levitate and hover off the floor as a yogi and maybe fly one day. All right. Or maybe I'm just going to find a lightness in my step and learn how to see the brightness and the goodness in life and bring a levity of being. Maybe I won't be so heavy in my footfall. Maybe I'll be a little lighter in my step. So there are things that we can take figuratively and not always so literally as well. So this week, I'm just inviting you. Yes, we have to work within the confines of certain principles, of certain laws, like the law of gravity, the law of reciprocation. All of these things, I invite you to know that when you have your Eureka moment, don't try to, and I'll cancel, clear, delete that, because sometimes using the negative, well, sometimes it can be powerful. Okay, I'm going to use it. Don't try to sugarcoat it and make it better by saying, oh, it's okay. I'll eat all the chocolate because I'll exercise later. Or I'll eat all the chocolate because I won't eat as much growing food. Who knows, right? Those are my little things I go through with myself. Okay, let's get into the week ahead. And hey, if we haven't met, my name's Irina Miller. I'm a spiritual life guide, what I call an energy alchemist and an astrologer. My joy is bringing together sacred practices from many, many different traditions, everything from yoga to astrology to energy healing to crystals to sound healing to cards. I have been studying for over 3 decades now, and just enjoying myself to the fullest, creating unique energy recipes for you to help you in this moment. So as we go through, let's talk about the energy of the week. And hey, if you enjoy these weekly energy weather reports, please do hit the like button, the subscribe button, share it with your friends. It helps out so, so much. And I am so grateful for your support. And Julie, you said you were negotiating cookies yesterday. I know, I do it too. With me, it's always food. Yeah, especially the sweets. I've got a sweet tooth. Hello, Hannah. Have a bright moonlight with you. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Oh, seeing, I get chills. It's always so fun to come together with all of you live. I really look forward to our Monday gatherings. And with that being said, this is a week where we can let go. I'm going to encourage you to just release with a big sigh. We're getting ready to wrap up the year 2024 and preparing for 2025. This week is leading us into the solstice energy that happens on Saturday, December 21st, 2024. It happens specifically at 3:19 a.m. Eastern. And the sun on Saturday also moves into Capricorn. So happy birthday, Capricorn friends. Julie, I know you're a Capricorn, and all the other Capricorns who are playing with us. If you are a Capricorn, if this is your season, definitely let me know in the comments below so we can wish you a happy birthday. When we think about this week, we are having some of the longest nights. And the reason that I chose that title of that bold opportunity, like, is this your moment to step into a bold opportunity? There is an incredible potency in the darkness. And this was a very challenging thing for me to learn, especially coming from, hello, Chrissy. Oh, you're going to go see Wicked today? Oh, very cool. Got distracted. But when it comes to looking at the energy of night or darkness, it was a very challenging process for me to see the upside of it. Coming from the background that I did, born into Catholicism, raised in many very beautiful Protestant religions, it was always the light. Even in the spiritual community, light, 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 love, love, love. We want light. And what happens, and what I discovered, is when we just are all very one-sided and we don't honor the duality of this world that we live in, we burn out. And we miss the richness in the dark. And when I say that, I don't mean like dark, evil, bad, because I feel that in my early days, my early spiritual practices and journeys, dark was painted as bad, but it's not all bad. And light is not all good, right? We're not talking about absolute light. Absolute light is God, creator, universe, all good. But we're talking just about combining my words, dark and light. That would have been a lark. There you go. When we're talking about that, it's not all good or bad. We have those gray moments as well. And if you think about moments, just let's say in physical nature where darkness is good, it's good for when we sleep so we can regenerate our cells and our health and our well-being. Darkness is good for the baby in the womb as they're growing. Darkness is good for the tulip bulbs that you plant in the fall so that they can come into the light in spring. So there's a lot of potential for growth when we look at it that way. And going through a shamanistic process called the priestess process, I was very fortunate to be able to play in that experience and try it on. And this week, I invite you to do the same. As the nights are getting longer and longer and the darkness is coming, we just had a full moon on Sunday, and the moon is waning now. So the moon is really encouraging us to turn inward, to let go. And just as we saw with that opening card reading, that Six of Swords, what things might you let go of so that you can be ready for these bold opportunities that are available? The potency and the growth, the opportunity, the richness, like the richness in the soil. Something has been stirring within you, and there is a spark of light that comes as we go to the solstice. And with the winter solstice, maybe what you decide to do is you decide to do a ritual with light or with fire. It's beautiful, whether it's a Yule log, whether it's a candle. One of the things that I love to do is to take oranges and place the little cloves in them as a symbol of welcoming in the richness and the potential of the new year, the sweetness, and also that beautiful sensory experience where we're turning on all the senses of smell, sight, touch, and even taste. And so during this week, if you can really enjoy the lights dimming towards the end of the evening, getting into bed early, you're going to find that something shifts within you. Even if you can take it one step farther and take 2 to 5 minutes just to sit in the dark, whether you put on like a sleep mask or you sit in your closet and you just allow yourself to be enveloped by the darkness and connect to that peacefulness, that quiet that is within your heart. Hello, Kiki. Great to have you. I encourage you to do this, to turn within, because it's so nourishing for your spirit. Whatever kind of meditation practice you bring in, it really does feed your spirit. And it enables you to get through this moment of the year when things can be so chaotic, last minute gift buying and running around, or just starting the gift buying. I'm right there in the adventure with all of you. Whatever it is, to have those few precious moments where you can be still and you can think of even the forest after the snow has fallen, how quiet it is. It's going to restore your energy levels, and it's going to enable you to spot those new opportunities with greater ease and to have the courage to go after them. All right, let's talk about each day as we look at the week ahead. Now, to keep track, what I always do, you guys know this, for those who have the moon journal, this is a chance to kind of follow along with me, but this is the inside of the moon journal that I created. And in it, there's the ability, it's dateless, it's a journal, it's a planner. It's basically to capture the data so that you can look back and see how the planetary movements, especially the moons, affects you. And that gives you the ability to make consistent choices in the future and how you want to navigate your week ahead or your month. All right, so as we look at Monday, the moon starts off in Cancer and Mercury is direct. Wahoo! So Mercury is direct. Communication is going to be going forward again. We're not going to be so discombobulated. But let's just see what's most important that you need to know about Monday's energy. All right, Knight of Swords. There is this feeling of urgency. I need to go for it. Just go. Maybe run to the rescue. Maybe it's a feeling of falling behind. Maybe it's a feeling of I've got to get all of these to-do list items done before the holidays come, before family comes. But there is a sense of urgency. Say hello to it. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is to look before you leap, before you run right into it. Check in with your feelings. Now, why do I say that? Because the moon is in Capricorn, or I'm sorry, the moon is in Cancer, but the moon is also trining Saturn today, who's ruled by Capricorn. My mind just jumped ahead a couple steps. So there is a logic and there is a structure that you can harness as long as you pay attention to your feelings first. What is a motivating feeling urging you to take action? See if you can get to the bottom of that, because you might find that it's someone else's thoughts or beliefs as to why you were running into this course of action so quickly. Just check in with your feelings. What is the feeling? What is the motivation behind what you are doing? And then once you do that, you're going to find that it's easy to come up with a plan of action and then go. What this really reminds me of, the energy today, I'll never forget, we did like a canoeing trip in the spring, my whole family and I, many a moon ago. This was me with my mom and dad and brothers when I was much younger. And the water was intense, like it was moving quickly. It was spring, and it wasn't like intense rapids, but there were rapids. And my mom and dad flipped, and my mom went into the water and she hit her knee on a rock, and she was really having problems, and it looked like she was going under. I had my life vest on, but being super young and silly, I didn't have it fastened properly. And when I saw my mom go into the water, I just jumped right overboard and I went right after her, like not even thinking twice about it. That's that action. Mighty Mouse, here I come to the rescue. I know, before jumping into the water in the future, make sure that life vest is completely zipped, closed, snapped, whatever it is, because it was challenging trying to keep the vest on and get to my mom. Everything worked out fine. But you know, it didn't have to be that hard. So if I just paused, if I felt into the situation, allowed the plan to formulate, it would have been an easier rescue operation. So that's kind of the energy of today. Tuesday, moon's still in Cancer, but it's going to move into Leo in the evening, about 6:39 Eastern, that is 6:39 p.m. Eastern. Why do I tell you about the moon shift? Well, because I want to invite you to start to develop that attunement, you could say sensitivity, to when things shift around you. A Cancer moon is very emotional, very sensitive. They take things personally. They need to feel safe. They want to be in a place where they're loved. I'm a Cancer moon, so I really can connect with it. When the moon moves into Leo, there's going to be more of a playful energy. And it's going to be more like, okay, I want to be seen and respected. I want to lead and get out there and be bold. But the Cancer moon is a little like, okay, I just want to know that I'm safe. I need to let the feelings move. And that's also why I brought up feelings, particularly for Monday. So let's just ask, how can you make the most of Tuesday's Leo energy? All right. I love this gal. 9 of Wands. Look how strong she is. Her chin is up. She has been through it. She has been through the most challenging of times. She's doing everything all by herself. She's juggling all the projects, all the tasks, and she is so close to the finish line. And she's got it in her to complete it, to finish, to cross the line. So if you've been feeling tired or drained or exhausted, like, how can I go on? How much longer will it take? You're so close. Hang in there. And you are being encouraged that if there are projects and tasks on your plate that you can delegate or you can shelve for a later time, do that so you can cross the finish line with more energy, with greater ease, and a little bit faster because you're not trying to do so much at once. This is a reminder that even though you can carry all the grocery bags in from the car at once, do you really need to? Maybe you could ask the neighbor that was passing by. Maybe you take multiple trips. You don't do it all now. You go out later. Maybe there are projects for end of the year. You're like, I need to wrap it up. I need to finish it. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to push it off till next year. It'll be fine. So just take that moment to evaluate. Remember, waning moon that happens this week is about letting go. So you might discover some of those things that you were pushing so hard for really aren't as important. It might just be a date that you had in mind. But when you look at that date or that arbitrary goal, you realize it's missing the passion behind it, the feeling. That's a Cancer moon, is a feeling. Leo would be the passion that comes in. Do I really have the drive? You know, the other thing to say is if you've been kind of spinning your wheels with a project, kind of like staring at the blank page or the blank canvas, like, I just can't get going. Step away from it for a moment and then come back. Okay, Wednesday, moon still in Leo. What's most important that you need to know? Ooh, cards are jumping out. So let's just see who comes up. 9 of Cups. So lots of 9 energy right now. This is the fairy godmother card. This is the make a wish, dream big. Everything is unfolding in its time. 9 of Cups is the jackpot. This is the card of feeling like, I got it. I won. The sun is squaring Neptune on Wednesday. So why do I bring this up? Sun is your identity. It's where you naturally shine. And there is some kind of corner that is being encouraged to be turned when it comes to your dreams, when it comes to what you wish for. That card that we got at the beginning of the week, the Tower card, whatever revelatory moment happens, whatever stroke of insight comes your way, inspiration, I'm going to encourage you to take a moment again, that 2 to 5 minutes just in the darkness. It's like a seated meditation, but you could just even like not to overthink it. Just, okay, I'm going to set my timer, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, just sit in the dark, watch my breath, breathe in, breathe out. Maybe you count, breathe in for 4, exhale for 4, whatever gives the mind a little activity. Do that. So when these opportunities come your way, you can see them with greater ease, because sometimes it feels like an illusion. Sometimes it feels like it's too good to be true. Sometimes it is too good to be true. You want to be in a grounded space where you're connected to your own inner guidance, which the sitting in the dark for 2 to 5 minutes is going to really ground you and connect you to your inner guidance so that you can more easily spot, hear, feel, sense what's true for you. So incredible gifts coming your way on Wednesday. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is just to take that moment to tune in to inner guidance through the meditative practice, because that's going to help you in seeing them, spotting them, and understanding. Okay. All right. Moving into Wednesday, moon still in Leo. And with the moon in Leo, what's most important that you need to, 9 of Wands comes out again. Interesting. So here she popped out on Tuesday. She's popping out again for Thursday. This is where the moon squares Uranus. This is a little bit of the rebel coming in, and Venus trines Jupiter. So here's what I'm going to say about Wednesday's energy. You might think, really, no, really, I can do it all. I can finish this. And you could, but at what cost? At what cost are you going to be crossing the finish line? Are you going to be limping? Are you going to pass out? I'll never forget. I've run a half marathon once. It was like on the bucket list. I'm like, I'm going to do this. And as soon as I got to the end, I was like, oh my God, never again. It reminded me of like labor. They tell you, like with childbirth, you don't exactly remember it. You forget parts of it over time. And so after the childbirth with my 2 children, I was like, okay, try to remember parts of this at least, because I know you're going to forget to a certain extent, but remember just enough to help with the next time. And so with the running the marathon, it was like childbirth. I was like, okay, just remember how painful this was. And do you ever really want to do it again like this? Maybe you do it a little differently. So you could cross the finish line, but what state are you going to be in? So that moon in Leo is a very proud moon. They have a lot of pride. It's the king and queen of the jungle, the Leo. They are prideful. If there is a project that you are hanging on to out of pride, like maybe you don't want to be seen as a failure or somebody who can't complete things or wrap things up. It was interesting. I had a friend many a moon ago when I was young, and she said, oh, Irina, like you never stick with anything. And I thought, oh, what? And it caused me to pause, made me a little sad. And I thought, where is that coming from? Because man, I stick to things. But what I realized when I learned my natal chart and I looked at the astrology, my Jupiter's in Gemini. So I'm going to have many, many different interests. I'm going to want to learn about as much as I can. I'm a lifelong student. So I will learn a subject to the depths and the point of which I internally feel is most important. And then I will go to the next subject and I will learn it. I mean, I read 100 different books at once, quite literally, whether it's digitally or physically. I've got stacks of books everywhere I go. And so whenever I have a moment, I will be learning. So to some, it might look like I don't have that steadiness, but boy, oh boy, it's there. So there are some times where we might stick with something because other people have a viewpoint of us, maybe a comment like that. And we're sticking with something that's out of date, out of current time, and it's not really helping us. I had another person I was listening to who was talking about a program they were launching. And they decided when they only got like 30 signups or whatever, forget it. I'm canceling it. It's not worth it. I know from past data that this program's not going to go well. It's not worth my time, yada, yada. And they scrapped the whole thing and refunded everyone their money that had purchased it. So they didn't worry necessarily about what people were thinking or saying, oh, if you push a little harder, if you work a little harder, you'll get more sales. It'll work out. Know when to let go. Okay. All right. So very interesting how that comes through. Friday, the moon moves into Virgo, one of my most favorite moons. It's the get things done moon. Great. Oh, actually, this is working out really well now that I think about it, because we have family coming in for the holidays. And Virgo moon, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning, I will get my house super clean. I won't stress if it doesn't happen earlier in the week. And that's how we avoid beating ourselves up. Because let me tell you what, that full moon on Sunday knocked me on my tushy. I was exhausted. I don't know about you guys. Did you feel that full moon in Gemini on Sunday? What were your energy levels like? For me, it was just, no matter how I tried to push, it wasn't going to happen. And that happens sometimes. Okay, Friday, moon in Virgo. Let's just see, how can you make the most of that energy? King of Cups. Listen to your intuition. So here we are getting ready for the solstice on Saturday, and you are being encouraged to pay attention to your feelings. Cups represents emotion and feelings. It's connected with the element of water. If you have a chance to be near a body of water, or you have a chance to take a bath or a longer shower, allow yourself in that moment to see the water, whether it's physically happening to you or you're watching a video about the water, to imagine the water just washing away the word detritus, the little flotsams and jetsams, the little things that might have collected in your energetic field that are distracting you. Let it be washed away. Again, sitting for a moment, 2 minutes or 5 minutes, just allowing yourself to be in the dark this week, allowing yourself to unplug so that you can hear that intuitive guidance. The other thing to note about court cards, so the kings, the queens, the knights, the pages, is that they can represent aspects of your personality or person in your life. And I am feeling called to say that for some of you out there watching, this represents a very kind, loving, masculine figure in your life. It's a masculine energy. Does it have to be a male? No, not necessarily, but it's a very beautiful masculine energy that is offering compassion and a safe space for your heart. And with Virgos who are very practical and down to earth to get things done, what I'm going to invite you to do to make the most of that day is write the list of everything that you need to get done. Virgos are great with lists. And then after you write that list, and I'm just pausing because Virgo's complementary energy is Pisces, and King of Cups is a very Piscean energy, watery energy, intuitive. Virgos, after you write that list for the Virgo moon, I'm going to just encourage you to look at it and see what lights up for you as to what should I do first. So rather than eating the frog, that do like the thing you don't like first, or rather than doing the favorite thing first, just look at it and see if there's one thing on the list that catches your eye to do first. You could even run your hand over it and see if your hand feels a pull or a tug specifically when you're looking at the to-do list. But bring your intuition in that way as well. Okay, so Saturday, winter solstice, sun moves into Capricorn, happy days. And we're going to just see, how can you make the most of the beautiful winter solstice energy? 8 of Pentacles. What feels unfinished? Is there something that you feel you need to learn, to understand, to bring into your world, to feel, and I will use the word complete. I paused for a moment. I wanted to feel into it before I said it. She is a very learned woman. She has studied, she has been learning and growing, and she's got all these certifications on her wall, and she has experience and expertise in many spaces, but there's more that she desires to learn. So if there's a tug on your heart, and she's got the little candle there, can you see the candle in her hands, which is so nice for the solstice? Allow the light to illuminate what is the next best step on your path. And for a winter solstice celebration on Saturday, what I would invite you to do is, you've been sitting in the dark this week, sitting for 2 to 5 minutes. On Saturday, create your candle flame or light, whether it's with a Yule log or you just have a candle and you light it, and sit and gaze at the candle. Turn all the other lights off as much as you can and just let the candlelight illuminate the room that you're in. And watch the dance of the flame, allowing it to be your focal point, and the yogis call it a drishti, to calm the mind so that you can hear the intuitive guidance. And you ask, what's my next best step? God, universe, what next? Remembering that you are in a dance of co-creation. It's not an independent manifesting adventure where you're all alone trying to make it happen, but you have friends in high places, divine angelic support all around you. So excited to join in bringing these dreams and heartfelt feelings into physical reality. Okay, and then Sunday, I've got cards popping out. All right, so I'm going to just take note of who popped out, but I'm going to ask Sunday, when the moon is at third quarter, so the third quarter phase or last quarter, what's most important that you need to know? The Hermit. So this is that time alone. So the Hermit is a card that represents isolation and sometimes darkness, but look at the light. So we've just had the longest night of the year, and the light has been internalized. You are going to be a light for someone else, a teacher, a guide, to help lead them up the twisted, crazy, mountain, craggly path that you have ventured, to help them avoid the pitfalls. You are a light, an inspiration, a beacon, and a hope for so many. I think of one of the Star Wars movies where Luke Skywalker is on that remote island, off the coast of Ireland somewhere where it was filmed, and Rey finds him, right? So the master, the guru, the guide, the teacher, the light has spent that time in isolation as you have this week in the darkness, allowing yourself to soak up the potency, the potential, the possibility in the darkness, and then connect with the light on Saturday so that you could fully shine and be a beacon of hope for so many others come Sunday. So you're not meant to be in the dark. You're not meant to be in isolation, but to be out in the world. Aw, Hannah, you love it. Aw, thank you. I'm so glad it resonates. Oh my goodness. This was fun. Holy cannoli. I never know exactly what's going to come through. So it's an honor to be able to channel these messages for you and to be able to connect you with the astrology of the week. It is a joy of mine. One other thing I do want to share with you are the void of course moons. Void of course, I like paying attention to them right now, just as another way to kind of collect data. The moon, why do we pay attention to the moon? Backstepping just for a moment, because it affects our stress levels, our emotional levels, our energy on a day-to-day basis. And it kind of gives us a way of figuring out, how do I get into a routine of day-to-day living? What are the harmonies like? Yeah, it's going to be a great week, Julie. But void of course, when the moon goes void of course, it basically means the moon isn't having any conversations with any other planets. She's just kind of hanging out there. It's like being in a boat, a sailboat, let's say. The motor's not working, there's no wind, and you're just kind of sitting there until the next wave, comes, or the wind gust comes, or the motor kicks back on, or you find a current. Otherwise, you're just kind of floating. So it basically translates into nothing will come of it. So when the moon is void of course, nothing will come of it, which is a good thing sometimes, right? If we're going in for a test where we want the results to be, like nothing will come of it, nothing good, nothing bad, like it's just nothing will come of it. Or we're turning in a bill that's late, or we want to have a conversation where we're trying to smooth over things. But if you are trying to get something meaningful done, you're encouraged not to start new projects or sign contracts or try to do something that's very foreign and brand new, just the mundane kind of things. You're just kind of going with the moment. So with that being said, moon void of course, Tuesday, December 17th from 1:33 p.m. Eastern to 6:39 p.m. Eastern. So it takes up a good chunk of the workday for us in the East Coast, West Coast. It's your morning. Across the pond, it'll be after work. And then again on Sunday, so December 22nd. So if you've got holiday things planned, like things you want to get done, just know that Sunday morning, December 27th from 8:26 a.m. to about 2:08 p.m. Eastern, you might not make as much headway as you hoped. So front load, right? We've got that Virgo moon, Friday, Saturday. Take advantage of that and really utilize that strong Virgo moon to get the big complicated tasks out of the way with. And then like Sunday, when the moon's void, of course, the mundane tasks, some of the more cleaning routines will be great. So what do I mean by that? Friday and Saturday, let's say there's logistics that you need to plan. You need to analyze, like what meals will I cook? What food do I need to get? What gifts still need to be bought? How do I wrap up my business for the end of the year? Maybe I'm planning for 2025. Friday is a great day for that. Saturday, a little bit. And then as you get into Sunday, just mundane things, more like the chores. Okay. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. If this has been helpful, please do share it with a friend. I am so thankful for your presence today. Thanks everyone for playing. Happy holidays to all of you who are here watching. I am looking forward to sharing with you again next Monday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, right here. And have a great week. Much love. Bye, guys. Hey, and Moon Club, don't forget Moon Club. If you want more about the moon, I'm just being reminded to put this up. You're welcome, Julie. Just because, if you ever want to take the sacred practices farther, irenamiller.co/club. we go deeper and deeper in the Moon Club, and that continues to evolve. And I'm excited for 2025 and more of the offerings that I'm going to be sharing in there. All right. Have a great day. Mwah. Bye, guys.